Hi, welcome to the Livity kitchen. Today we're going to make some Aduki bean and ginger burgers. I'm going to use some warming spices as it's Christmas time and I was thinking something a little bit festive but something you can also get your teeth into. I'm going to use some coriander and some cumin with some freshly ground black pepper. So let's get on with the making. I've got about just under 600 grams of sprouted Aduki beans. You could use Aduki beans that have just been soaked overnight, but I think it's nice if you have got time to sprout them. You just want to soak them overnight and then put them in a colander and rinse them every morning, and you'll see that they start sprouting. It'll probably take a couple of days. Okay, or you can get them from local health food shops. So there's about 600 grams in here. So we're just going to pop that into the food processor. And I've got one onion that has been loosely chopped. It's going in there. I've got 4 garlic cloves, about a thumb-sized piece of ginger, and then I've got an assortment of herbs from the garden. So really this is kind of down to what's available to you, but I've got lots of oregano that I've taken out. I'm just going to sort of de-stalk it as I'm putting it in so that we don't end up with all these kind of coarse bits. I've got a bunch of parsley. The fresh herbs really add a nice lightness to the taste because the beans are quite flavoursome, so they add a nice counterpoint. So I'm popping those in, and it's like a real generous, maybe 2 generous handfuls of green herbs. You could use basil. You can really play with that as well to see what flavours you end up with. But it's about, I would say I've got mostly oregano and parsley going in here, and a little bit of fresh thyme as well. So I'm just going to literally just shove that all in the blender and pop the lid on. So I'm just going to now zap this for a little while just so that all the different ingredients can start to mix. I don't want to make it too smooth because I want a little bit of texture remaining in my burger. So I'm just going to pop it on for a moment and then see how we go. You may need to stop it now and again and just use your spatula to scrape down the sides and sort of mix it around a little bit. I'm getting a nice sort of grainy texture coming together now. I don't know if you can see that there. So at this point, I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt. This is sea salt. I've got half a teaspoon of peppercorns. I'm just going to give a quick grind. Also half a teaspoon of coriander and a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. I find cumin can get quite strong, so I'm going to take it a bit easy on that. I'm also going to add in a tablespoon of gram flour, which is just ground chickpeas made into a flour. It's completely gluten-free, so it's a really good binder. It helps things stick together very well. Also, it being a bean as well, it means that the actual burger won't get too heavy when we fry it. So I'm going to add in, I'm actually going to do 2 tablespoons of gram flour. Okay. And I'm going to blend that a little bit more. So the texture's looking really good. I've still got a nice coarse feel to it, and the herbs and everything have been well incorporated. I am going to add another 2 tablespoons of brown flour because I want to just make sure that this mixture doesn't fall apart when I start to cook it. So I'm just going to add that in now. So in total we've got 4 tablespoons of gram flour in our mixture. Okay, I'm just going to pulse that through. And then just give it a little scrape down the sides. And this is looking lovely now. This has come together really well and we'll be able to form our burger shapes. Okay, so we've got our mixture. And I've got myself 2 spoons that I'm using to shape my burgers. They're quite big dessert spoons, but I think that's quite a nice shape so that you're not overwhelmed with the amount of burger on the plate. I've heated this heavy based frying pan without the oil first, and I'm just going to put some olive oil in now. I prefer to do it like that so that the olive oil doesn't burn, and then the pan can get nice and hot in advance. So I'm putting quite a generous glug of olive oil, and I just want to swirl that around the pan, into which I'm going to put my burger shapes. I'm gently just shaping them as I go. So can you see how I'm using the spoons to make my burger shape? I'm also compacting the mixture with my spoons as I go. And that way it should help them stay formed. Okay, so they've probably been frying for maybe 2 to 3 minutes on that side. So I'm just going to start with the first one using my fish slice. The oil's a bit hot, and gently turn it over. And you're going to go in rotation, so start with the first one you did and end with the last one that you did, just so that they have enough time to cook. Okay, so the burgers are finished frying, and I've just popped 2 on a plate with a little bit of roasted beetroot and apple chutney from the Vegan Christmas ebook. And also I made a rye flatbread in the oven by just mixing some rye flour, some water and some olive oil, making it into a dough and just baking it in a hot oven about 225 degrees for about 20 minutes. That's another recipe for another time. But I think the burgers came out really well. I just cooked them gently, like I said, on both sides. They're a nice golden brown colour, and now I get the treat of testing them. I'm just going to dig in. A little bit of chutney on there. They are really good. Very tasty, very moist inside, lots of texture and really strong flavours. Highly recommended. Thanks for watching the Livity Kitchen, and for more recipes like this you can check out my blog on www.thelivity.com, and the Vegan Christmas ebook is also available on the site. Hope to see you again soon.